Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and we are on day 70. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. We are going to be reading out of Exodus chapter 20, Proverbs chapter 2, Acts chapter 12, and then we'll close out the day with Psalm 49, but only verses 1 through 15 today. So let's get started in Exodus chapter 20. Here we go. God spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves an idol, nor any image of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow yourself down to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and on the fourth generation of those who hate me, and showing loving kindness to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not misuse the name of Yahweh your God, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You shall labor 6 days and do all your work, but on the seventh day, that is a Sabbath to Yahweh your God. You shall not do any work in it, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your livestock, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land which Yahweh your God gives you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. All the people perceived the thunderings and the lightnings and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. When the people saw it, they trembled and stayed at a distance. They said to Moses, Speak with us yourself, and we will listen, but don't let God speak with us, lest we die. Moses said to the people, Don't be afraid, for God has come to test you, and that his fear may be before you, that you won't sin. The people stayed at a distance, and Moses came near to the thick darkness where God was. Yahweh said to Moses, This is what you shall tell the children of Israel. You yourselves have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall most certainly not make gods of silver or gods of gold for yourselves to be alongside me. You shall make an altar of earth before me, and shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your cattle, in every place where I record my name. I will come to you, and I will bless you. If you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it out of cut stones, for if you lift up your tool on it, you have polluted it. You shall not go up to the steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed to it. I'm still just so overwhelmed as if I were standing at the mountain, I would certainly be asking Moses also, you know what, can you just get the message for me and let me know what God says? I am terrified. So yeah, that would be what's known as the TenCommandments. There are many interpretations over the years on exactly maybe what rules can be bent, what rules we should stick to, and those interpretations are created by our human selves. So if you struggle with any one of them, my suggestion is to talk to God about it. Talk to God as Moses talked to God. Say, you know, Lord, I really struggle. I have nothing. And my friend or my neighbor or my coworker, whoever, you know, they're doing so well and have, you know, security and transportation, or their house is paid off, or, you know, that's just one example. That would be coveting, you know, wishing you had what your neighbor had. You know, if you struggle with, I don't know, anyways, I'm not going to go through the list. Whatever you're struggling with, don't create your own interpretation. This was the word of God. This is what he desired. And if we really read it, it is good for our lives. It really is good. So talk to him about it. I do. Daily. So Proverbs chapter 2. My son, if you will receive my words and store up my commandments within you, so as to turn your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you call out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her as hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of Yahweh and find the knowledge of God. For Yahweh gives wisdom. Out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He lays up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk integrity, and he may guard the paths of justice and preserve the way of his saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice, equity, and every good path. For wisdom will enter into your heart. Knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will watch over you. Understanding will keep you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the men who speak perverse things, who forsake the paths of uprightness, is to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the perverseness of evil, who are crooked in their ways and wayward in their paths, to deliver you from the strange woman, even from the foreigner who flatters her with her words, who forsakes the friend of her youth and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house leads down to death, her paths to departed spirits. None who go to her return again, neither do they attain to the paths of life. Therefore, walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright will dwell in the land, the perfect will remain in it, but the wicked will be cut off from the land. The treacherous will be rooted out of it. And then we move into Acts chapter 12. Proverbs is really beginning strong, very convicting. All right, Acts chapter 12. Now about that time, King Herod stretched out his hands to oppress some of the assembly. He killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. When he saw that it pleased the Jews, he proceeded to seize Peter also. This was during the days of unleavened bread. When he had arrested him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 squads of 4 soldiers, each to guard him, intending to bring him out to the people after Passover. Peter therefore was kept in the prison, but constant prayer was made by the assembly to God for him. The same night when Herod was about to bring him out, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains. Guards in front of the door kept the prison. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood by him, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him up, saying, "Stand up quickly." His chains fell off his hands, and the angel said to him, "Get dressed and put on your sandals." He did so, and he said to him, "Put on your cloak and follow me." And he went out and followed him. He didn't know that what was being done by the angel was real, but thought he had saw a vision. When they were past the first and the second guard, they came to the iron gate that leads into the city, which opened to them by itself. They went out and went down one street, and immediately the angel departed from him. When Peter had come to himself, he said, "Now I truly know that the Lord has sent out his angel and delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from everything the Jewish people were expecting." Thinking about that, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, who was also called Mark, where many were gathered together and were praying. When Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a servant girl named Rhoda came to answer. When she recognized Peter's voice, she didn't open the gate for joy, but ran in and reported that Peter was standing in front of the gate. They said to her, "You are crazy." But she insisted that it was so. They said, "It is his angel." But Peter continued knocking. When they had opened it, they saw him and were amazed. But he, beckoning to them with his hand to be silent, declared to them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. He said, "Tell these things to James and to the brothers." Then he departed and went to another place. Now as soon as it was day, there was no small stir among the soldiers about what had become of Peter. When Herod had sought for him and didn't find him, he examined the guards, then commanded that they should be put to death. He went down from Judea to Caesarea and stayed there. Now Herod was very angry with the people of Tyre and Sidon. They came with one accord to him, and having made Blastus, the king's personal aide, their friend, they asked for peace, because their country depended on the king's country for food. On the appointed day, Herod dressed himself in royal clothing, sat on the throne, and gave a speech to them. The people shouted, "The voice of a God, and not of a man." Immediately, an angel of the Lord struck him because he didn't give God the glory. Then he was eaten by worms and died. But the word of God grew and multiplied. Barnabas and Saul returned to Jerusalem when they had fulfilled their service, also taking with them John, who was also called Mark. Just reading about Peter, once again, boy, that boy needs convincing. He's got an angel taking him out of prison, and he's still not certain. Is this real or a vision? Oh, Peter. I just identify with him so much. Psalm chapter 49, 1 through 15. This is for the chief musician, a psalm by the sons of Korah. Hear this, all you peoples. Listen, all you inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth will speak words of wisdom. My heart will utter understanding. I will incline my ear to a proverb. I will solve my riddle on the harp. Why should I fear in the days of evil when iniquity at my heels surrounds me? Those who trust in their wealth and boast in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their life is costly. No payment is ever enough, that he should live on forever, that he should not see corruption. For he sees that wise men die. Likewise, the fool and the senseless perish and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses will endure forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They named their lands after themselves. But man, despite his riches, doesn't endure. He is like the animals that perish. This is the destiny of those who are foolish and of those who approve their sayings. They are appointed as a flock for Sheol. Death shall be their shepherd. The upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. Their beauty shall decay in Sheol, far from their mansion. But God will redeem my soul from the power of Sheol, for he will receive me. Yeah. There is nothing that we have in our lives that we can take with us when we die. And that is one thing that is absolutely indisputable. We are all going to die. No one can escape it. No one can escape it if you have enough money, if you have enough food, if you have a huge house for warmth. The rich, they also die as the poor. But the one thing that we can all take with us when we die is our relationship with Jesus. So, thank you for joining me today. Please come back tomorrow for day 71, and we will see you then. Bye.